It's Big Board Sports with Roger Wyland on 104.5 The Team.
Every Wednesday morning, we're going to talk Siena basketball, Siena men's basketball with head coach Jimmy Patsos. The season is upon us, preseason over, and here we go. And the coach in studio on a Wednesday. Good morning, Coach.
Great to be here. How you guys doing?
How you doing? Good.
Doing great.
You did what everybody else did last night, right?
I did exactly what you did. I watched several different stations, including yours, but I watched CNN and Fox and switched around and just watched for 8 hours, mesmerized.
Yeah.
I did not watch the Nets. Look, she was in trouble when the Nets won and the Rangers lost. It was not looking good for her because that was about the same level of upset.
Yeah.
I mean, the Rangers lose to Vancouver.
I know.
Because I heard you coming in that there was no sports on. And I normally would flick around.
I didn't flick last night.
No, I didn't. No, it was mesmerizing.
Yeah,
actually.
I mean,
I was kidding around about watching those games.
Yeah.
It was mesmerizing to watch, but
I mean, even my kids. I mean, even Brady and Rachel, 12 and 9, were watching, and then I sent them to bed because Kelly was working, and then, you know, the first thing they did when I woke up this morning, wonder who won.
Yeah.
I think the young people of America learned a lot about politics last night. The political process. I mean, I was looking up how many electoral votes does Arizona have? 10. How many does this have? 11. How many? I was looking, but I mean, I think that it taught everybody more about politics in the political process. Because come on, nobody was paying attention until last night at the little things like that.
Right.
Like, how do you win? And is Maine split? And if you don't win Omaha, you don't win Nebraska, even though the rest of the state's red. I was like fascinated.
The way they break down those counties. Did you see John King work that touchscreen?
On CNN, he was unbelievable. He was unbelievable.
Like Andy Katz needs to do that for the NCAA tournament because he's like breaking down counties and do the T. And
but I mean, you learned, and I'll tell you learned. I felt like watching, as far as a sports game, you better protect against the long ball. Everyone thought she had the game won, but they threw some Hail Marys and you didn't cover deep, and next thing you know, it's a game, and now you're backpedaling. And
it was a big upset.
It was
a huge upset.
I knew the night before when he went to Michigan, and I'm following this, and then she showed up in Michigan. I said, "Whoa, why is she going to Michigan?" And then when he stopped in Pennsylvania,
she never went to Wisconsin, I heard.
No, she didn't, and that's why I called it an open court layup. She thought that was going to be finished, and it wasn't. It was LeBron coming. Pinning it off the backboard.
And somebody was talking about too the advertising dollars that they kind of took. They took the foot off the pedal and didn't spend as much in certain areas.
It was your state, Roger. You did it. It was your state.
They
it
were
was
like,
Pennsylvania.
we don't need to be doing that here. We're good here. Guess what? Not so fast.
Yeah.
So I just hope Trump does a good job.
Look, it is what it is. He's the president. So I grew up I was in Washington almost 20 years. I ran into this guy. Well, we know who he is. He was Ted Kennedy. And Ted Kennedy was in a restaurant, and he gave a speech to the young people. And I was 28 years old, 26 years old. And he said, when you win, it's 60-40. And when you lose, it's 40-60. And maybe that's how it should go back to, because it's been so bipartisan. He gave a great speech. He said, Tip O'Neill, who was a great Speaker of the House, he said, when it's Republicans' turn, it's 60-40. When it's the Dems' turn, it's 60-40. And that's what makes this country great. Well, it's gone away from that. So this is going to be interesting to see if they can compromise. But it was great. It was great TV. Where do you go from here? Now you have to deal with it. I do have several friends in Washington that call me today, Roger.
What do they say?
They've never seen the metro more crowded. Everyone's trying to get to work today by 9. Because there's a change coming.
Yeah.
Right.
And here comes it's going to be a little different.
Yeah.
It's going to be a whole lot different.
So anyways, who knows? But
now
how did the Rangers lose to Vancouver, by the way, last night? The Rangers have been playing unbelievable.
My wife just sent me a text that said, that's the CNN guy you hated. They love him. You hated him. I must have made a comment about him. I don't know what I did.
I'm just saying he was working that. I didn't know anything about the counties. I don't look at it. And my wife's in politics. She's a lobbyist.
So she knows all this, right?
Yeah, but we don't. I mean, she does. She explained to me how Maine could be a split vote and how. It's funny. She worked in Pennsylvania, and she said she was did not like the outcome. Let's just put it that way without saying anything. She said they're in big trouble because Lebanon County in Pennsylvania is all Republican. They've never changed that. In other words, you grew up in Pennsylvania.
I did.
You know there's pockets, and it was interesting watching that. And then she's, we were all shocked by Florida, but he outworked her. Look, the Giants beat the Bills. The Jets beat the Colts in 1960. The Mets won. I mean, this can happen in sports.
Right, but now
this has turned into a sport, in my opinion, in a way. You know what I'm talking about.
It really has. Now he did win. And that's great. Now I just hope he does the right thing. Listen, I was going back and forth with Kelly, and I was giving her a little hard time because I was like, hey, this is going to be an upset. She's going down tonight. She's going to lose. And Kelly was like, not totally into that with the way direction I was going.
Like, we have to deal with this for 4 years.
And then she did make some really good points. Just so you know, if he ends up winning, bing, 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 and she's going down the list.
Well,
she does a lot more than I do.
You hope it's not Jason Bay. He didn't have a good month, and now he's stuck with him for 4 years, and you can't get rid of him.
Right. That's exactly right. So,
for all you long-suffering Mets fans. But, I just hope it's not that kind of thing where it's, wow, he had a good month, and now we got to deal with this for 4 years. Guy can't get a hit.
Well, and this is the last thing I'll say. Both parties' structure is going to be forced to be dramatically changed, because not only did Trump go against the left, he went against a big portion of the right. He won Ohio. John Kasich, the governor of Ohio, came out against him, and he won that state. Yeah. It just shows you that politics, as usual, got turned on its head.
But she barely won Virginia, and her vice president is from Virginia. She won by one. So who knows what's going on?
Right.
But it's funny. I kind of wrote this down coming in, and you guys know this because you travel a lot. This is not America where we live. In other words, when you go recruiting, it's different in Indiana, and I've been to Iowa, and then you go to California, and you go to Florida, and we think everything's where it is here.
That's right.
When I was at Maryland, I would rent the pickup truck when I went to the Midwest. I'd give me a F-1. When I ran the Jaguar with the white sweatsuit when I went to L.A., I knew how to get my way around Beverly Hills down to Compton. Miami, you'd wear a different outfit. Chicago, prep schools, I had the old blue blazer and the red tie in the back. In other words, you got to adjust to where you're going, and there's a whole world out there.
It's a big country.
It's going to be wild, but just come to the Siena game on Sunday at 2. If you want to get away from all this.
Okay, how are we going to segue out of this?
Cornell has two really good guards. Marcus Hatter. They got Hatter and Morgan. They got a first and second team all-league player. They got a new coach from Princeton. So get away from it all Sunday at 2 and come to the Cornell game.
There you go. How was the preseason for your team? Do you like your team? Are you where you want to be right now?
I hope we're better in March.
Well, of course, but right now, is this where you thought you would be in terms of preparation?
No, because we've had some injury. Nico Clarith had major knee surgery. He's coming back slowly. Kadeem Smitten had knee surgery. He's coming back. He's back. Javion, Marquise Wright, and Brett Bisping are my big three. Yep. They're clearly on the line.
Yep.
Then you got Levon Long, Evan Fisher, and Nico Clarith are clearly on the second line, and Nico's close to being, Nico's a great player, but now he's hurt. Levon misses the first 3 games. I have to get used to that. So do you play him as much as you want on the first team? And then Evan Fisher's really stepped up. So that's my second line of defense. Those are my 6. Okay. Khalil Richard's going to start as a freshman.
He'll start?
Yeah, but he's still on the third line, Zach. It's not just because he's starting doesn't mean he's on the first line. He's the starter that's supposed to pass the ball and play hard. Kadeem Smitten, who's hurt. And my 9th man, I'd say right now, is Santi Shivers, who might start. Because Levon can't play for 3 games, and I got to deal with that. There's no injustice there. What happened with Levon, that was a just and fair sentence, and so we have to serve the 3-game suspension, and we move on. There's no debate that. But you have to deal with it.
And for fans that don't know Levon's situation, can you?
No, it's just a school situation.
Okay.
It is what it is.
I know a lot of our listeners don't know.
Too many points on his license.
Yeah.
So he lost it for 3 games.
Right,
sure.
Right.
It wasn't some big incident, to be honest with you. Levon's a great kid. He's had a great fall. He's got a track to graduate. He's a good kid. These guys are dealing with a lot at 18 to 22. I was talking to someone the other day. But Javion, Marquise, and Brett are as level-headed kids that just do well and they're going to on time to grad. They're still young. I got them when they were 17 and 18. Thank God Brett came back. But those big 3 are fine. Who do you fill in? When Nico's healthy, he's good. But he's got to, fit in with those big 3. It's about those big 3. I think one thing Will Brown did last year was made it very clear that it was Singletary, Hooley, and Sanders.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. And I heard you guys talking. I don't know how small they are. I really like their big guys. I think Steyer and
they're
Rowley.
They're top.
I love Rowley's brother, and he's good. And Steyer's smart. Went to CBA. In other words, but it's going to be different because they were a perfect piece to those other 3. I don't speak for Will, but I like Will. We get along. I watch his team play.
Yeah.
And I do agree that at this level, it's about your conference, although we still want to beat Albany.
Come on. Of course you do.
No, but we all have tough schedules. He's got to go to Penn State and Cincy. We take the money for the games. He's got Grand Canyon, who, don't be fooled, is very good with Dan Marley.
That's what he said.
Assistant Brown, I don't know much about.
27 games last year, Grand Canyon.
Yeah, that's Jerry Colangelo's school. He built that from nothing. Speaking of a Trump-like person, no, I'm just kidding. Arizona, they screwed us too. No. But Jerry Colangelo has helped build Grand Canyon. I know their assistant really well. He's a good guy, and I've met Marley. Like, they have come sort of like Albany State came to Albany. They transformed, but way faster. In other words, they're a 20,000-seat school, and
right.
I would like to play Grand Canyon. They play in a nice arena. They get 7,000 people a game. That's a real program. And we were talking about that, Zach and I, about who you play. We cannot play Division IIIs. John D'Argenio is in the paper. We do a good job with scheduling. We have to play like home and neutral games. Our league policy is no D3s. Now we're playing 18 league games instead of 20. They want us to up our schedule.
I was going to
say,
we
play.
The MAC came through with like these changes.
Yes. They're trying to get a second team in the NCAA. I don't know how realistic that is in today's world. I do know we could get a second team in the NIT. I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying that, but John D'Argenio is a great leader of the MAC because he's been around a while with Rich Enzer in terms of how do you get more exposure for your league. The CBI and CITs are cool, but we want to go to the NCAA, which you really got to have your ratings. You know, Monmouth got screwed last year, but so did St. Bonaventure, who we play.
So this gives you a dish, according to Doug. It gives you a chance,
but maybe we get 2 in the NIT, which at our level, because you guys are in the America East, you know, I mean, we're all in this together, but you're the radio. Wouldn't the America East die to have 2 NIT teams?
And NIT is still a great tournament.
And so would we. And the CBI and CIT are good tournaments, but the big schools are going away from the CBI. You're going to go to Penn State. We played Penn State in the CBI. Last year, only Nevada was the only Mountain West team in it. All the bigs have said we don't want that. So now, you know, we have to follow suit. So we want to jump up and join the biggies. Can we get a second team in the NCAA? The year I went to the NCAA at Loyola, I was on the radio every day helping Iona get in. I didn't get them in, but I was in D.C. and New York saying Iona should get in, and they got in. We have a league where Monmouth could have gotten in, but Valpo didn't get in. And, you know, look, Washington's in the football thing. I could switch gears because I'm kind of a Huskies fan. I just admire what they're doing out there, the guy from Boise State. Those BCS schools are running things. Oregon State got in. Tulsa got in because SMU didn't get in. Syracuse picked up Louisville's spot. In other words, the last spots went to the BCSs. The NCAA said, we had a meeting up at, it was up at the Sagamore, our league meeting, and they brought in several prominent people, NCAA, former ADs, commissioners, and John D'Argenio and Rich Enzer did a great job. And they said, okay, you guys had a good year. You all had good years. But Georgetown and UCLA were poor last year. Georgetown, UCLA, and Rutgers were not great, and that's who Monmouth beat. So you have to make sure you're always scheduling up. You can't play some of these really bad teams because Oregon State's going to have their ranking high in Tulsa because they play SMU every night and Connecticut every night. And people don't know this, but you guys do. This RPI stuff is like right there. And there's probably 10 teams battling for 2 or 3 spots. So they want us to schedule up, which means play 2 less games. Basically, they don't want the top 2 teams, Roger, playing the bottom 2 teams.
Okay. Yeah, so you will not play every team in your conference twice.
We will. Not everybody. No, not twice, exactly. Right. So, in other words, the first place team, and I don't know the exact form that just came out, and I'm not that great at math, so more of a history guy, teacher. I can just go. I don't like quantitative stuff. Anyways, basically the top 2 teams would only play the bottom 2 teams once. So, therefore, if you slip up, you don't get as hurt, and you better win those games. They kind of looked at you and said that. But that being said, it's hard for Will to win Penn State and Cincinnati. It's going to be hard for us to win GW and Kansas. But can we win our others? But we play Vermont and Albany, and we play Florida Gulf Coast. They went to the NCAA. We play UNC Asheville. Yeah. Next year we play Charleston, Memphis, Louisville. You got to get lucky and win some. But not only do you have to win those, you have to win a couple of those games you scheduled up. Like, I'm not going to just pat ourselves on the back, but I am. We played the toughest non-conference schedule. We probably got a bid into. We blew it last year when we lost it at Fairfield. In my opinion, either Fairfield or Marist, we had to win.
I remember that
to get in the NIT, and that's on me as the coach. My fault.
Because you guys won 20 games last year, right?
We did, but and I was going to say these things. We played Hofstra, we played St. Bonnie's, we played Albany. Yeah. So the NIT really liked us because our RPI was up. We have the toughest non-conference schedule in the MAC, and there's other guys just either taking money, going to play Duke and Kansas for money, having no shot at winning, then playing all bad teams. Then if you lose to a bad team, you really go down.
Yeah.
So in other words, you're trying to play that game. This is like, it's a very interesting game. You can't lose the states you're supposed to win. You can't lose Wisconsin.
Right.
You can't lose Pennsylvania and expect to win the bid to the presidency. You can't lose to those teams you're supposed to beat, expect to go to the NCAA. Or in our case, if it was 2 NITs, that would be great for us. Because the CBI and CIT, while I enjoy going, it's great for the players. Morehead State was a good team. They went to the finals. We won the CBI. Will had a great game in Ohio U. It's not the same as the NIT, and it's not the same as the NCAA.
How is your team different this year from last year?
Well, we're going to go over who's my unsung. My most biggest surprise is Evan Fisher has worked. It's not like he just came out of the closet and started shooting and doing well. This guy is a worker. He's a vocal guy. Like Evan Fisher has a lot of energy in our locker room last year. I think he's exerting a little more of that. He's going to be a really good sixth man. I value my sixth man. Evan Fisher's, he talks on defense. He's vocal. He's big, but he can shoot. We lost Ryan Oliver, and this guy's 6'8" and might be my best shooter. So, but he's earned it. He really put the work in. Khalil Richards will be the new guy that you like. And Santi Shivers is the guy you've never heard of that could start. He's just a three-man, kind of came to us late in the year. He's a
shooter?
Nope, just a junkyard dog, Mac America East type grinder. You guys know the position. He's three-man. He's from D.C. He's not from Baltimore, everybody. He's from D.C., which is a very different area because everybody thinks we just have Baltimore and Maryland kids. This kid's a D.C. kid. His brother plays, though, at Coppin State. We got him late. But he's just like, he can make a play, can pass. He's just a baller. He just knows how to ball. He's 6'4", 200 pounds. He's not some little kid. He's like a man already. And he's going to fill in because, Levon's going to be out and Nico's been hurt. So those are my guys. Khalil Richards is going to play a lot.
You like the high expectations?
It is what it is, better than low expectations.
Yeah, for sure. Right?
Well, I was curious because, that brings added pressure and,
really getting picked 11th brings a lot of pressure. Like, you're fired.
Touche. What?
No. Yeah, it is, but we don't look. It's like I said. It's. We have a new practice facility. Siena's put a lot of money into basketball. We're trying to sell season tickets. They're going well. We've answered the bell. We're moving a game to Glens Falls. The Disney on Ice came in, so we had to move our Bucknell. Bucknell won their league, went to the NIT, picked to win their league. Yep. We're playing good teams. Okay, Kansas isn't coming here. Providence isn't coming here. St. John's is Under Armour. They're not coming here. Northwestern's not coming here. We have tried to get big teams. They are not coming here because they can't afford a loss in the RPI to go to the NCAA. Yeah. They don't risk it. So we've gotten the best mid-majors. But we've answered the bell. We're going to go to Glens Falls Saturday, December 17th at noon.
Who are you playing there?
Bucknell.
Oh, Bucknell. Yeah. And that's a great place for.
Well, it is, and I've gone up there. John lives in Saratoga, and I lived in Saratoga, and we go up there, and then you go to a hockey game at Glens Falls. They're like, we love hoop. They lost the state tournament. Well, here we come. We're going to try it, and if it works, we could play there a lot because we need home and neutral games in this thing. This new scheduling policy is pretty. In other words, you need home and neutral games. The Atlantic 10 does this. The St. Mary's Conference, Gonzaga, they do this stuff. This is where we stole this from. You have to have so many home games and so many neutral games. You don't want all road games because it hurts your. It's a whole formula. I don't know how it works.
Does this new change? Isn't there something about the conference tournament?
Well, that's coming next. But that's they're all mad that we host the tournament, even though we paid to get the tournament.
And truly, Albany is the best place within that league to have the tournament.
From day one.
Well, that's been that way forever here. There's just. It draws the most fans, makes the most money, makes the most sense.
Right.
Just, and the rest of the coaches.
A couple years ago, where'd they have it?
And most of them know it. But then, Monmouth and Quinnipiac are new in the league. Lucky we took them. I guess they forgot that we took them out of the NEC when they asked us to come here. I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, but you came to our league knowing we had a tournament in a big arena on them. And we have a good slot. Like Monday night at 9, I think, on ESPN's like a coveted slot. Yeah. If you win your tournament, in other words, they say the MAC winner the whole week. There's a whole formula. I'm learning. Look, I didn't know anything 10 years ago when I got to this level. Thought I did. I realized I didn't know anything. It's a whole formula. But, the league makes money because of Albany's support. It gets with this. The locker rooms are good. You can host the men's and women's. There's places to eat this. Oh, yeah, we should go to Madison Square Garden. It's $75,000 an hour to go to Madison Square Garden. Okay, we're not going there. So then, it's funny. I've learned as I've gotten older, I don't like, it's like when people say, why don't you play this guy? No, I'm sorry. People say, why do you play that guy? Well, who do you want me to play? In other words, don't tell me the problem. I know the problem. But where are we going to go? Right. In other words, Albany A deserves it. We've earned it. You mean the community is tremendous from community, media attention. The kids love it. How about asking the players? All the players on the other schools love coming to Albany. I ask them because I chat with them.
Yeah.
They love the media.
How could they
it's
not?
So cool. Yeah. They're in a hotel downtown. They're in an arena. And then you got some administrator saying, well, we lost because it was in Albany. Hey, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
You lost because you didn't make any shots.
Right. That's so true. And this has been.
But what about the kids?
This has been an ongoing story around here for forever.
And John and Rich Enzer have fought hard to not listen to those people, so I give them a lot of credit.
I mean, they've moved the tournament to other areas.
And it's done terrible. What was that 3 years ago? I remember Single Ace tweeting out pictures of the. It was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You're dumping money. No one's coming to watch this.
Right,
Where
so
was it? Like Binghamton or
it was in Springfield.
Right.
They're brutal.
I got fined for that.
You ever see the atmosphere of a championship game there on TV?
And
There's nobody there.
And the whole town's good for these people that come. In other words, I'm a big because I live downtown Albany, but what about what the players think? And the players like it there. I've asked them on the teams. Yeah, we love. The problem is Justin Robinson and them really love coming to Times Union and AJ English. They're so fired up, they dropped 40 on my head. They're like, this is my favorite place to play, Coach. I wish I came to school here. I said, I didn't have the job when you came here. And they're like, yeah, okay, but I'm going to get 40 on you because they're so excited to play there. And it's a big-time feel. But that's all for a whole nother discussion, and that's above my pay grade. But we're excited about the season. Khalil Richards, give him a chance. He's a little point guard, so we're going to move Marquise to the 2. I'm doing a little Iverson with Marquise.
Okay.
You know, he's going to play the 2. I really like Larry Brown's coaching when he was at the Sixers. You know, they had Iverson and really nobody else, Snow, and, you know, McKee playing defense. Aaron McKee, who played defense, that's who Santi Shivers is like. He's like a big, stocky guard.
Wow. I'm looking forward to see. You should be. We're not just
going to walk through and win 30 games. I want everybody to understand that. We're not going to walk through, hey, we're not going to kill everybody and see you in the Sweet 16.
But if fans are a little bit patient through the non-conference schedule.
It's going to be a fun year. I would enjoy the year.
Yeah, you're going to have a good year.
What about the Albany Cup? At Albany in the SFQ. I mean, I know that from the Siena side, you know, that's kind of been a point of contention, but Jimmy, that atmosphere is going to be freaking off the wall.
Look, this is the last time we're going there, so don't be trying to sell me on that.
I'm just
Zach Albany play-by-play man, okay? No, we're going there once, and then Benson and Mr. Dargenio can figure the rest out, but everybody knows we're going there once, and that's it. And then we're going to figure out how to play that game downtown where it belongs. But I'm doing that as a peace treaty. Yes, I'll take my Jimmy Carter
Doing the
award.
one game
I'll take my Camp David Jimmy Carter award now.
And I don't have any tickets, by the way. I'm sorry, I don't have any tickets.
No, it's going to be a great atmosphere, but don't try and sell me that that's where the game's supposed to be played. No, we're just doing it to do it, okay?
I didn't do
Team Purple.
First of all, I did not do that, but
you were sort of doing that.
No, I said how about that atmosphere is going to be crazy. I mean, it's
a great atmosphere in the Times Union Center with 11,000 people.
There's no doubt about it, but there's going to be something unique, as in unique in the true sense of the word, that it's never happened before. And it's going to feel like claustrophobia. And there's going to be, it's not only going to be sold out, there's going to be 4 people deep around the top.
That's good.
And it'll be the first time your guys have been in an environment like that, probably since high school.
No, we play in some pretty tough places. Have you gone to Monmouth? I know the America East doesn't draw like we do on the road, but Monmouth is really like crazy. When you can't move in Iona's gym, when they got really good players.
Iona's a gym like that.
Our gyms get full. I'm not going to go there right now. Monmouth was as good a mid-major atmosphere as there was last year, and we play at College of Charleston, Florida. We go to places that are very mid-major heavy places to play. But it's going to be a great game. And the reason we did that was A, we wanted to keep the series going. B, I understand Will's plight. They've never had the game there. Although the series started when Albany came and said, would you play us, Siena, because we need to play you. And a lot of people in Siena made a great effort to bring them down to the Times Union Center. And every year the game grew. But it's 2016, so everybody gets a say.
And you're right. When this game is over and done with, they'll be in a room with John Dargenio and Mark Benson to see what the next step is going to be.
It's just, is it fair to the people that can't go? What about the downtown restaurants, all that? I don't want to get into all that. I wanted the game to get going. What I was going to say was, I asked Javion Oganyemi mostly because he's from Troy, and Marquise Wright, and of course Brett, but Javion mostly, what do you think? He's like, I came here because we play Albany. I'm a Troy kid. I want to play him. Let's go over there and play. I said, I'm with it too. I know it's going to be a different atmosphere. We get 600 tickets, by the way. They don't get all the tickets. Plus, I think our fans are buying some of the tickets, is the word on the street. They're buying season tickets because we have such great fans to get more than 600 in there.
The infiltration.
And so, anyways, it is a good game, but I don't make the decision on where that should be played. It is being played there, and I totally support. I understand both sides. I'm a bipartisan guy, but that game is not going to determine how our season goes. I think St. Bonnie's. We play a St. Bonnie's Cup. My president's from St. Bonnie's. He was with Bob Lanier there. That's a tough game. You know, St. Bonnie's is a hard place to play, and that's another cup. But we don't back down from anybody. You know, I'm kind of taking Calipari when he was at UMass. Anybody, anywhere, anytime, we'll play you. Now, it'd be nice if some schools wanted to come here, but they don't. But we'll play anybody, and we prove it by our scheduling. We don't play any Division III schools.
Is there? Is there?
Do you?
Is there any fear, Jimmy? That
there's no fear.
Well, hold on.
Where are you going with this, Zach? Where are you going with this?
Is there any fear that you refer to? Hey, we're not going back to this FU again. Is there any fear from, as the head coach of Siena, where you know how important this game is to the area, that both sides won't be able to, after this contract
that's a loaded question. What are we doing borrowing problems from tomorrow, Zach, when we got plenty of problems to fix today? Okay? What are you doing? Were you worried about in 2018? After this election, we better get through today.
Well, I'm sure you get asked about it, because I know we get asked about it all the time.
I get it. What we get is that we saved the series. Siena stepped up and saved the series and sort of fell on the sword.
And like I said, there'll be a lot of discussions with
this game, and then we're playing next year. We already have the date. It's like December 9th next year. We're in a tournament with Louisville, Memphis, Bryant.
That's right.
And there was a lot of planning. Let's just go. Let's not borrow problems from tomorrow, and we got plenty to fix today, Zach. Okay, over there, just take it easy, Will Brown Jr.
I'm just asking questions. It's what they pay us to do, Jimmy.
I want you to do one thing. I want you to do your job. I like it. My point is, the players at Siena deserve a lot of credit, because they came in and said, we know what's going on, because everybody knows, and said, this is an important game. And I said, don't ever forget, we were all 18 to 22 years old, all of us, carrying the flag, protesting, living our lives differently. We're older now, but it's about that it's about the players. They have a say. And the players at Albany deserve to play in the game too. And me and Will need to play in the game, and the media deserves it, and the fans deserve it, but the restaurants deserve it. But if we're boxing people out from going the game, that's kind of my thing. Like, are we keeping 7,000 people from going the game? They can wear white. I'll wear green in the Times Union Center. They can bring their floor down. They got to pay for it. In other words, there's lots of ways to do it. This is what we settled on for 3 years, and that's fine. They got a good team. They got Cremo. He's the hero of the Schenectady, Scotia, Glenville area. We got Javion from Troy. They've got their JUCO players. We got our players. It makes for a fun game. It's a great game, and it does. I really believe the Albany game helps us prepare for the season, just like Bucknell does, just like Vermont does, just like going to Florida Gulf Coast, an NCAA team with lots of players. This is how you get ready to have a good season, because you have to be tested. But just because we have different ideologies doesn't mean we can't get along, and I think the game is super important to the region. I don't make the decisions of where the game goes from here, but I'm telling you right now, the Siena people really stepped up to keep this game. And there were some people that didn't want to have this game played, and we put our differences aside for the good of the community. Thanks. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday at 2. Come on
Sunday
out.
at 2. Thank you, Coach.